If a bird lands on a branch, does it trust the branch or its wings? The truth is, the bird trusts its wings. Even if the branch breaks, it knows it can fly. In life, we're often taught to depend on people, plans, or situations. But what if the real strength has always been inside you? This audiobook is your reminder that you have wings, your courage, your belief, your inner power. You just have to trust them. Even when life feels uncertain, you can rise. It's time to stop doubting yourself and start believing. Trust your wings. The sky is waiting. Chapter 1. Discovering the wings within you. You were born with something powerful inside you, something the world may have tried to hide, but it never disappeared. It's your inner strength, your courage, your ability to rise. These are your wings, and whether you realize it or not, they've always been there. Many people go through life unaware of their true potential. They wait for someone else to lift them, to tell them they're enough, to give them permission to grow. But the truth is, your wings don't come from anyone else. They come from within. Your wings are built from your experiences, your struggles, your wins, your quiet moments of perseverance. Every time you kept going when it was easier to quit, you were growing them. Every time you chose hope over fear, they became stronger. Discovering your wings means discovering what makes you unique. It's about realizing that you don't have to be like everyone else to be valuable. Your story, your voice, and your journey all have meaning. And that meaning is what lifts you. Sometimes you won't feel strong. Sometimes your wings will feel small, tired, or broken. That's okay. Strength isn't always loud. Even in your quiet moments, your wings are still there, waiting for you to trust them again. To find your wings, you must listen to the part of you that still believes. That little voice that whispers, "You're made for more." Don't ignore it. It's not your imagination. It's your inner guide reminding you of your purpose. You don't need to have it all figured out. Discovering your wings is not about being perfect. It's about being real. It's about choosing to rise, even if you're unsure, even if you're afraid. That choice alone activates your power. We all have something special inside of us. The problem is, most people never give themselves a chance to see it. They bury their wings under fear, self-doubt, and the opinions of others. But you're ready to uncover yours. Believing in yourself is the first step. It may feel uncomfortable. It may feel new, but it's necessary. You can't fly if you don't first believe that you were born to. Look at your past, not with shame, but with strength. See all the times you got back up, even when it was hard. That was your wings in action. That was your spirit refusing to stay down. Your wings may not look like anyone else's, and that's the point. You weren't made to copy. You were made to lead, to inspire, to fly in your own way. Discovering your wings doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. But every step you take with courage, every choice you make to believe in yourself, that's part of your flight. There's something powerful inside you that the world needs. And the moment you stop hiding it, you give others permission to find their wings too. Your wings are not just for escaping fear. They're for rising into purpose, for growing into the person you were always meant to be. So take a deep breath, let go of doubt, and trust that what you need has already been placed inside you. You are not lost. You're just learning how to fly. Chapter 2. Letting go of fear and doubt. Fear and doubt are like heavy weights tied to your wings. No matter how badly you want to fly, they keep pulling you down. But here's the truth. You were never meant to carry them forever. To rise, you must release what holds you back. Fear often shows up as a whisper. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? These questions can feel real, but they are not facts. They are feelings. And feelings don't define your future. Your actions do. Letting go of fear doesn't mean it disappears. It means you no longer let it lead. You acknowledge it, but you keep moving forward anyway. That is how courage is built. Not in the absence of fear, but in the choice to act despite it. Doubt is the voice that tells you to stay safe, to stay small, to not take risks. But you weren't born to play it safe. You were born to explore, to create, to become. Doubt may sound familiar, but it's not your truth. You've already overcome more than you realize. Every challenge you've faced and every setback you've survived has proven something. You are stronger than fear and bigger than doubt. Sometimes fear comes from the past. Maybe someone told you that you weren't enough. Maybe you failed before. But the past is not your prison. It's your teacher. It's time to learn, not to stay stuck. Letting go is not a one-time decision. It's a daily practice. Every day, you must choose belief over fear, hope over worry, action over hesitation. These choices build new confidence. Your dreams are on the other side of fear. Not behind comfort, not behind perfection, behind fear. That's why you must face it, not run from it. When you do, you discover that it wasn't as big as you thought. Doubt grows in silence. If you don't challenge it, it gets louder. Speak life into yourself. Remind yourself what you're capable of. Your words have power. Use them to lift, not limit. It's okay to feel scared. It's okay to question yourself. But don't let those feelings decide your future. Feel it, breathe through it, and keep going. Bravery isn't loud, it's steady. Replace fear with vision. When you focus on what excites you more than what scares you, you shift your energy. Let your dreams speak louder than your doubts. You have everything you need to begin. You don't need to be fearless. You just need to be willing to try, willing to believe, willing to trust your wings. Letting go isn't about forgetting. It's about freeing yourself. Freeing your mind, your heart, your purpose from the chains of fear. You were not meant to be stuck. This chapter of your life is not about waiting for the fear to go away. It's about moving forward even if it stays. The more you act, the smaller fear becomes. Trust is the antidote to doubt. When you trust yourself, you stop needing constant reassurance. You begin to walk with quiet strength, knowing you're capable, even when it feels uncertain. You are not your fear. You are not your past. You are not your doubt. You are potential. You are growth. You are becoming. Fear wants you to pause. Doubt wants you to stay still. But your heart? It wants to move, to rise, to reach. And when you let go of what holds you back, you make space for what lifts you. Chapter 3. Belief is the first step to flight. Before you can fly, you have to believe you can. Everything starts with belief. Not in the world, not in luck, but in yourself. Belief is the spark that lights your path. Without it, even the strongest wings stay grounded. You don't need proof before you believe. You need belief before the proof arrives. Most people wait until they see results to believe in themselves. But belief isn't based on what you see. It's based on what you choose. Belief is powerful because it shapes how you act. When you believe in your potential, you show up differently. You take bolder steps, speak with more confidence, and carry yourself with quiet strength. Doubt weakens action. Belief multiplies it. The more you believe, the more consistent you become. Even when you make mistakes, you keep going, because belief reminds you that you're still on the right path. You may not know exactly how you'll get there. You may not have all the answers. But if you can hold belief in your heart, you've already taken the first step toward your future. Belief turns ordinary into extraordinary. It transforms hesitation into momentum and fear into fuel. It changes the way you see yourself. And when you see yourself differently, you act differently. There will be days when belief feels weak. That's normal. But even the smallest amount of belief can carry you. Like a seed in the soil, belief grows with time, attention, and faith. You don't need to be the most talented or the most prepared. You just need to be the one who believes. That mindset alone will carry you farther than most. Belief doesn't guarantee the journey will be easy, but it guarantees that you'll keep going, even when it's not. That's how transformation begins, not when it's perfect, but when you're persistent. Believing in yourself is a decision, a daily one. It's waking up and choosing to try again, even after failing. It's trusting that growth is happening, even when results are slow. Others may not see what you see, and that's okay. Your vision doesn't need validation. Your belief isn't dependent on their understanding. It's rooted in your own clarity and commitment. Belief is like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. With every challenge you overcome, every risk you take, you build belief that lasts. When belief leads, fear fades. You become more focused on the goal than the obstacles. You shift from asking, "What if I fail?" to "What if I fly?" Your dreams are only as big as your belief. So dream boldly, believe deeply. Trust that you have everything inside you to begin the journey. Belief gives your wings direction. It tells them where to go and why to rise. Without it, you may have the tools, but you'll never use them. So today, make a choice. Choose to believe. Believe in your voice, your strength, your calling. Because the moment you believe, you take flight. Chapter 4. Embracing your uniqueness and inner power. You are not here to be a copy. You are here to be a masterpiece, one the world has never seen before. Your uniqueness isn't a flaw, it's your greatest strength. When you stop trying to fit in, you finally start to rise. Too often, we hide what makes us different. We tone ourselves down, afraid to stand out. But blending in doesn't lead to breakthroughs. The people who change the world are the ones who dare to be themselves. Your power begins the moment you accept who you are. Your story, your voice, your perspective, it all matters. You weren't made to walk someone else's path. You were made to own yours. Embracing your uniqueness means trusting that you're enough, even if you're not like everyone else. It's recognizing that your difference is your gift. What makes you stand out is what makes you strong. There is no one else with your exact heart, your exact journey, or your exact purpose. That's not an accident. It's your advantage. You don't have to compete when you're living in alignment with who you truly are. When you step into your authentic self, you stop chasing approval. You stop trying to impress and start trying to express. And when you express your truth, the right people and opportunities find you. Your inner power isn't loud. It doesn't need to shout. It shows up in how you carry yourself, how you speak your truth, how you keep going when others quit. It's quiet, but unshakable. Stop comparing your wings to someone else's. Their path is not yours. Their speed is not your timeline. You're not late. You're not behind. You're right where your story begins to bloom. Confidence grows when you stop hiding. The more you show up as yourself, the stronger your spirit becomes, and people can feel it. Authenticity is magnetic. Sometimes the world will make you question yourself. But remember, you are not here to please everyone. You are here to live fully, love boldly, and walk in your own truth. Your uniqueness is your power. It's what gives your voice weight, your work meaning, and your presence energy. When you embrace it, you stop chasing purpose and start living it. You don't need to be like anyone else to be powerful. You just need to be fully you. The more you own your light, the more unstoppable you become. Being real beats being perfect every time. Your strength isn't in pretending, it's in showing up, even with flaws, even with fear. That's where courage lives. Let go of the need to shrink. Take up space. Speak up. Show the world what you're made of. Not with arrogance, but with quiet certainty that you were born for more. Your inner power will grow every time you stop apologizing for who you are. Stand tall. Be proud of your scars, your story, your soul. They are not weaknesses. They're the reason you soar. Chapter 5. Trusting yourself when no one else does. There will be times in life when no one sees your vision but you. No one claps. No one understands. No one believes. And in those moments, you have two choices: give up or trust yourself anyway. Trusting yourself doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you're willing to keep going, even when things are unclear. It's choosing to believe in your path, even when the road ahead is foggy. Sometimes the people around you won't understand your dreams, not because they don't care, but because they can't see what you see. But their vision isn't required for your mission to move forward. You are the one living your life, not them. Only you know the fire burning inside you. Only you know what your heart is pulling you toward. So listen to that voice. Trust it. It's your guide. Every great journey starts with someone who believed in themselves when it didn't make sense to anyone else. You don't need the world to believe. You just need to not give up. It takes strength to stand alone, to keep showing up, to build in silence, to rise without support. But that strength is what makes you unshakable later. That's how leaders are born. Don't let someone else's fear become your limit. People often project their doubts onto you, but that's not your truth. Your belief must be louder than their hesitation. When no one believes in you, that's your chance to become your own biggest supporter. Talk to yourself like someone worth fighting for, because you are. You deserve your own loyalty. There will be moments when self-trust feels like walking blind. But even a small step in the right direction is better than standing still in doubt. Keep moving. The clarity comes after the courage. You don't need to wait for applause to take action. Clarity grows through effort, not approval. The more you show up for your dream, the more real it becomes. Trust is built like a muscle. Every time you make a decision and follow through, it gets stronger. Keep your promises to yourself. That's how self-trust is earned. You are stronger than the silence, stronger than the doubt, stronger than the noise around you. When you trust yourself, you don't just survive, you rise. Your journey may not be loud, but it will be meaningful. Because it's yours, fully yours, and the day will come when others finally see what you believed in all along. Let your results be your response. Let your consistency speak for you. People may question you now, but when you keep going, they'll start paying attention. And remember this: you are the author of your life. Trust your pen. Trust your plot. Even if no one's reading yet, keep writing your story, because one day the world will. Chapter 6. Turning setbacks into strength. Setbacks are not the end of your journey, they are part of it. Everyone who has ever achieved something great has faced failure, rejection, or disappointment. What sets them apart is how they turned that pain into power. When life knocks you down, you have a choice: stay down or rise stronger. Setbacks are opportunities disguised as struggle. They don't come to stop you. They come to shape you. You don't grow in comfort. You grow in challenge. And every setback is a lesson that can make you wiser, sharper, and more prepared for your next breakthrough. If you're willing to look deeper, there's always a gift inside the loss. Mistakes are not the enemy. They are your greatest teachers. Each time you fall short, you learn what doesn't work, and that brings you closer to what does. That's how success is built, one corrected failure at a time. Sometimes a closed door isn't rejection, it's redirection. It's life guiding you to something better, something more aligned. But you'll only see that if you keep moving forward with faith. Setbacks reveal your true strength. Anyone can smile when things are easy. But who are you when everything goes wrong? That's when your character is tested. That's when your power is discovered. There is no shame in falling. The only shame is in refusing to rise. Every time you stand up after a setback, you show the world and yourself that you are unbreakable. Don't let a bad moment define your future. You are not your worst day. You are not your mistakes. You are the person who gets back up, and that's what makes you unstoppable. Pain has a purpose. It stretches you. It strengthens you. It humbles you. When you turn pain into wisdom, you become untouchable. Because now you're not just motivated, you're transformed. Resilience isn't built in victory. It's built in failure. It's the muscle you grow every time life hits you and you hit back with hope. That mindset will carry you through anything. Some of your greatest comebacks will begin in your lowest moments. When everything falls apart, you're being given a chance to rebuild stronger, smarter, and more aware. Failure brings clarity. It strips away what doesn't matter and forces you to focus on what does. That kind of clarity is rare and powerful. Setbacks teach you patience. You learn that timing matters, and sometimes the delay is preparing you for something greater than you expected. Trust the pause. You are not behind. You are being prepared. Sometimes the setback is building the strength you'll need for what's coming. And when it arrives, you'll be ready. Don't run from your setbacks. Study them. Ask yourself, what can I learn? What can I do differently? How can I grow from this? That reflection turns regret into power. There is beauty in the bounce back. It shows you how far you've come and reminds you that nothing can truly stop you unless you allow it to. That realization is freedom. The strongest people are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who fail, feel the pain, and rise anyway. They use the fall as fuel, and so can you. Your comeback story will inspire others. When you share how you turned pain into purpose, others find hope in your strength. That's how healing multiplies. Don't wait to feel ready. Start now, right where you are, even with the setback fresh in your mind. The sooner you begin, the faster you'll rise. And the view from the top will mean even more. And remember this, your setbacks do not define your limits. They define your foundation. Build on them, grow from them, and rise with a strength that no one saw coming, but you always knew was there. Chapter 7. Building the courage to take the leap. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward in spite of it. The leap will never feel easy. It will never feel perfect. But growth demands that you jump before you feel fully ready. You can't wait forever for the right moment. The perfect time doesn't exist. If you keep waiting, fear will keep growing. But if you leap, even with trembling hands, you begin to shrink that fear. The leap represents trust, not just in the outcome, but in yourself. You trust that you'll learn, adapt, and rise, even if things don't go as planned. And that trust builds inner power no one can take away. Fear will always whisper, "What if you fall?" But your heart knows the better question, "What if you fly?" That one shift in perspective can change your entire path. Courage is built in silence, in the quiet moments when you say yes to yourself without needing applause, permission, or reassurance. You don't need the world to cheer when your belief is strong enough. Every bold step you take weakens fear's grip. The leap may feel terrifying at first, but once you do it, you realize it was your mind, not your ability, holding you back all along. It's okay to feel afraid. It's okay to feel uncertain. But don't let those feelings decide your future. Feel them. Honor them. But leap anyway. Courage grows through action. You don't wait for confidence to arrive. You build it by moving. Every small act of bravery becomes a brick in your foundation of self-belief. The leap doesn't have to be massive. Sometimes the smallest steps forward are the biggest acts of courage. It's not the size of the move, it's the power behind it. You'll never regret betting on yourself. Even if you stumble, even if you fail, you'll walk away with wisdom, experience, and strength that no comfort zone could ever give you. Taking the leap teaches you who you are, not the version shaped by fear, but the version shaped by faith. You meet your true self on the other side of hesitation. Sometimes you don't leap because of fear of failure, but fear of success. You wonder if you're truly ready for what's on the other side. But growth doesn't come from staying hidden. It comes from rising. Every leap you take expands your world. What once felt impossible becomes normal. What once scared you now fuels you. That's the power of courage. It transforms your limits. Don't wait for full clarity. Clarity often comes after movement. When you take that leap, the path reveals itself. But it only does so for those brave enough to jump. There is no growth without risk. Leaping means leaving behind the familiar and entering the unknown. But everything you desire, change, joy, fulfillment, is waiting in that unknown space. Courage also means trusting that you can handle the outcome, no matter what it looks like. If it works, you move forward. If it doesn't, you learn. Either way, you grow. You build courage by doing hard things on purpose. By choosing challenge over comfort, boldness over hesitation. And with every choice, your wings grow stronger. You don't have to leap with certainty. You just need conviction. A deep belief that you were made for more, and that staying stuck is no longer an option. Your leap may inspire someone else to jump. Your courage becomes their permission. So even when it's hard, know that your bravery carries a ripple effect far greater than you realize. And when you finally leap, with fear in your chest, but fire in your heart, you'll realize something powerful. You were never meant to stand on the edge. You were always meant to soar. Courage is like a spark. It only grows when you feed it with action. The more you do what scares you, the more fearless you become. Not because the fear vanishes, but because you learn to rise above it. The leap isn't about being certain, it's about being committed. You commit to your future, to your growth, to the person you're becoming. That commitment becomes your anchor when doubt tries to shake you. Every time you let fear make your decisions, you shrink your life. But when you lead with courage, your world expands. You discover strength, talents, and dreams you never knew existed. You don't need everyone to understand why you're leaping. You just need to know in your heart that it matters. Sometimes, your vision will only make sense once the results appear. The leap teaches you how to lead yourself. You stop waiting for motivation and start moving with intention. You don't just react. You decide. You act. You take control. Courage doesn't guarantee comfort. It guarantees growth. And growth is what turns your potential into reality. If you're uncomfortable, you're probably on the right path. There's magic in motion. When you leap, life starts responding. New ideas show up. People notice your energy. Momentum builds. But none of it starts until you decide to move. The leap isn't about avoiding failure. It's about refusing to live with regret. Even if you fall, you'll know you tried. And that alone is a win most people never experience. When you leap, you break old patterns. You interrupt the cycles of hesitation, self-doubt, and fear that have kept you stuck. You prove to yourself that you're capable of something new. Waiting feels safe, but it's often a trap. You wait for signs, for support, for certainty. But those things often come after the leap, not before. Action brings answers. You are more ready than you think. You've been preparing through every challenge, every lesson, every moment of struggle. The leap is just the next step, not the first. Let your faith be stronger than your fear. You don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Courage is built one step at a time, not all at once. The leap creates new possibilities, new opportunities, relationships, and growth await you on the other side of action. But you'll never see them from the edge. You don't need to be fearless to leap. You just need to be brave for a moment. One bold decision can shift your entire direction. Sometimes it's the smallest step that makes the biggest impact. When you leap, you raise your standards. You stop settling for just enough and start chasing what truly lights you up. That shift changes how you think, move, and live. Most people stay stuck because they fear discomfort. But freedom lives beyond comfort. And if you want a new life, you have to be willing to outgrow the old one. Letting go is part of leaping. Letting go of doubt, of who you used to be, of the fear that's kept you grounded. Only when you release the weight can you begin to fly. You'll be surprised by what you can handle. The moment you leap, you unlock a version of you that's been waiting to rise. One who is strong, focused, and unstoppable. Sometimes the hardest part is the first move. But once you're in the air, momentum takes over. Courage carries you. And your wings, strengthened by belief, start to work. And finally, remember this. The leap may feel risky, but staying stuck is the real danger. Life is too short to wonder, what if? So trust your wings. Take the leap, and never look back. Chapter 8. The Power of Positive Self-Talk. The most important voice in your life isn't the loudest one around you. It's the quiet one inside you. What you say to yourself becomes what you believe, and what you believe becomes how you live. That's the power of self-talk. Your mind listens to every word you speak, whether out loud or in silence. If you constantly criticize yourself, you program your mind to expect failure. But if you speak with love, hope, and encouragement, you begin to grow. Positive self-talk isn't about ignoring problems. It's about choosing words that lift you instead of break you. It means speaking to yourself like someone you care about, not someone you're trying to tear down. The way you talk to yourself shapes how you face life. If you tell yourself you can't, you won't even try. But if you tell yourself you're capable, you'll find a way. Words shape action. You become your own coach, your own guide, your own motivator. Instead of waiting for others to cheer you on, you learn to cheer for yourself. That voice of encouragement becomes your greatest tool. When your self-talk is kind, your mind becomes stronger. You stop living in fear of failure and start living in pursuit of growth. You create a safe space in your own head, and that changes everything. It's easy to repeat the words others once said to you. Maybe someone told you that you weren't enough, smart enough, strong enough. But now, you get to rewrite the script. You get to choose new words. Your self-talk should match the person you're becoming, not the mistakes you've made. Don't judge yourself by who you were. Speak to who you're becoming. That version of you deserves support. Speak as if the life you want is already yours. Tell yourself, I can handle this. I'm learning. I am worthy. These aren't just words, they're seeds. And every seed you plant grows something inside you. Every time you say, I've got this, you build confidence. Every time you say, this challenge will make me better, you shift your mindset. Positive self-talk isn't fake, it's fuel. Even when life is tough, your words can bring light. You might not be able to control everything, but you can control your voice. You can choose to speak strength, even in struggle. Pay attention to your inner language. Would you say those same words to your best friend, to a child, to someone you love? If not, why speak them to yourself? You are with yourself every moment of your life. So make that relationship one of love, not judgment. Be the kind of friend to yourself that you've always needed. Positive self-talk rewires your brain. It builds new mental pathways that support growth, confidence, and peace. The more you speak good things, the more natural they become. When you fail, your words matter most. Will you say, I'm a failure? Or will you say, I'm learning, and I'll try again? One keeps you stuck. The other helps you rise. Your voice can be your prison or your power. Use it wisely. Speak life into your goals. Speak strength into your identity. You are always listening. Make sure what you hear lifts you. You can't always control the world, but you can control your narrative. You get to decide how your story is told inside your own head, and that story becomes your reality. Affirmations aren't silly, they're powerful. When repeated often, they become beliefs. And beliefs shape habits, and habits shape lives. Start with small truths and build from there. Talk to yourself with love on your worst days, not just your best. That's when your voice matters most. It's easy to be kind when you're winning, but growth happens when you're not. And remember, your words are a mirror. They reflect how you see yourself, and they slowly become who you are. Speak like someone ready to fly, because you are, and your voice can lift you higher than you ever imagined. The most consistent conversation you'll ever have is the one with yourself. That's why it matters more than anything else. Your self-talk shapes your mood, your mindset, and your momentum every single day. When your internal voice supports you, you feel braver in the face of challenge. You begin to take more risks, try new things, and recover faster from failure. Because your own words become your safety net. Think about how your energy shifts when someone says, "You've got this." Now imagine hearing that from yourself every morning. That small reminder can carry you through hard days. Self-talk becomes a habit, whether helpful or harmful. If you're not intentional, you'll repeat old patterns. But if you start choosing better words, you begin creating a better future from the inside out. Your words should reflect your goals. If you want strength, speak strength. If you want peace, speak peace. You can't expect to grow if your inner voice is always tearing you down. Speak from a place of encouragement, not shame. You are not broken. You are becoming. And becoming takes time, grace, and gentle reminders that you're doing better than you think. When you build yourself up internally, outside opinions begin to lose power. Criticism won't shake you as much. Praise won't control you. You become grounded in your own belief system. Sometimes your voice is the only one you'll hear. No coach, no friend, no guide. Just you and your mind. That's when positive self-talk becomes your greatest companion and protector. You are always influencing yourself. Every thought is a suggestion, every sentence a direction. Make sure you're guiding yourself toward progress, not self-doubt. You don't need to be perfect to speak powerfully. Say things like, "I'm learning," "I'm figuring it out," "I can handle this." These phrases are bridges from who you are to who you're becoming. Self-talk is also about self-respect. It's how you show yourself that you matter, even when things aren't going right. Don't wait for someone else to affirm you. Do it for yourself. When your inner voice becomes your ally, your life starts to change. Decisions become easier, fear becomes smaller, and progress becomes more consistent, even if it's slow. On days you feel weak, let your words remind you of your strength. On days you feel lost, let your voice become the light. Self-talk is your power source in moments of darkness. It's not about being overly positive or fake. It's about being honest and hopeful. Saying, "This is hard, but I can get through it," is stronger than pretending everything's fine. Don't let your self-talk be based only on how you feel. Base it on what's true. Feelings are temporary. Truth is steady. And the truth is, you are capable, valuable, and growing. Repetition creates reality. The more you say something, the more you believe it. Choose words worth repeating. Choose messages that build rather than break. Your voice can calm your anxiety. When your thoughts are racing, use your self-talk to slow them down. Speak gently. Remind yourself that you are safe and in control. You wouldn't grow a plant by yelling at it. You'd water it, give it sunlight, and be patient. Treat your mind the same way. Nurture it with encouragement and consistency. Your inner voice is always listening, so speak to yourself like someone whose future depends on it, because it does. Every great transformation starts with a decision to speak differently. And finally, let your self-talk reflect the person you're becoming, not the person you used to be. Talk like someone who believes in their future, because the moment your voice changes, your life will too. Chapter 9. Becoming your own source of motivation. Real growth begins when you stop waiting for someone else to inspire you. The most powerful motivation comes from within, not from a quote, a video, or applause, but from your own decision to rise. When you learn to be your own fire, you never burn out. External motivation fades quickly. One day you're hyped, the next you're tired. But when your drive is built from purpose and self-belief, it becomes steady, powerful, and personal. Being your own source of motivation means showing up even when no one is watching. You stop performing for approval and start building for yourself. That shift changes everything. There will be days when you don't feel like it, when progress seems slow or results feel invisible. But if your reason is strong enough, you'll keep going. That's self-motivation. Don't wait for the perfect conditions to start. Create energy by taking action. Even a small step forward builds momentum and renews your inner drive. Your goals are your responsibility. No one else can chase them for you. When you realize this, you stop blaming others and start moving forward with power and ownership. Speak to yourself with power. Say, "I can do this. I've got this. I won't quit on myself." These words, repeated daily, become the engine that keeps you moving. When you take responsibility for your energy, everything changes. You begin your days with purpose instead of waiting for inspiration to strike. You become intentional with your time and effort. Self-motivation is about commitment, not just excitement. It's choosing discipline when motivation fades and showing up when comfort tempts you to quit. Celebrate your small wins. Every time you finish a task, stay consistent or take the harder route. You build trust with yourself. That trust turns into fuel for the next challenge. The best motivation comes from knowing your why. Why are you doing this? What does it mean to you? When your mission is clear, your actions become unstoppable. Being your own motivator means not waiting for others to believe in you. You give yourself permission to start, to grow, to become. You stop needing validation to feel worthy. When life feels heavy, your inner voice must become stronger. Tell yourself that you've been through worse, that you've survived before, and that you will rise again. Motivation isn't about hype. It's about consistency. You don't need to feel fired up every day. You just need to stay focused, stay disciplined, and remind yourself what you're building. Track your progress, not perfection. See how far you've come, even if the steps are small. Progress creates pride, and pride motivates you to keep going. Stay connected to your future. Visualize where you're heading. Feel the success before it arrives. That mental picture becomes a magnet, pulling you forward when things get tough. Remove the distractions that drain your energy. Protect your focus, limit the noise, and stay close to your mission. That clarity helps your internal motivation stay alive. Talk to yourself like someone who's already succeeding. Act like the person you're becoming. That mindset shift helps you grow into your potential faster. Make your motivation sustainable. Instead of chasing constant highs, build systems, routines, and habits that support your goals, even when you don't feel inspired. And remember, you are your own source of strength. You don't need permission to rise. The power has always been inside you. Speak it, act on it, live it, and let the world feel your fire. Motivation isn't something you find. It's something you build. You create it each day by showing up for yourself, even in the smallest ways. It's the result of effort, not emotion. Waiting for motivation is like waiting for the wind to blow in your favor. Sometimes you have to row the boat yourself. And the strength to do that? It grows with every stroke forward. The people who go the farthest are not always the most talented. They're often the ones who decided to keep going when motivation disappeared. That decision, that discipline, is where true power begins. Motivation grows when you prove to yourself that you're dependable. Each time you do what you said you'd do, even when it's hard, your confidence increases. That's how belief is built. Your habits are louder than your moods. Don't rely on how you feel, rely on what you've decided. Train yourself to follow through, and you'll never have to chase motivation again. Make your goals so personal that quitting feels like letting yourself down. When your dream is tied to your identity, your effort becomes automatic. You stop asking if and start living when. You are not lazy, you just haven't connected deeply enough to your reason. When your reason becomes real, you'll do the work, even when it's hard, lonely, or slow. Self-motivation means managing your emotions instead of being managed by them. You don't let a bad mood cancel your progress. You acknowledge it and still move forward. Create an environment that supports your energy. Surround yourself with reminders of your goals, remove distractions, and stay close to things that fuel your mind, not drain it. Write down your purpose. Look at it often. Read it when you're tired, discouraged, or doubting. Let it ground you when your energy is low and guide you back when you feel lost. Momentum doesn't start big. It starts small. One completed task, one decision to not give up, one promise kept. Those tiny wins turn into unstoppable motion over time. You don't have to feel motivated to be powerful. You just need to act in alignment with your vision. The feelings will follow the focus. So focus first, act next. Think long term. What will your future self thank you for? That question alone can push you through moments of hesitation and help you find energy even on your worst days. Feed your mind what it needs to stay strong. Read, learn, grow. Listen to people who speak life, not limits. Guard your input so your output stays focused and powerful. The days you want to quit are the most important days to keep going, because that's when character is formed. That's when discipline is built. That's when champions are made. Motivation may fade, but purpose never does. Keep your purpose close. Let it burn brighter than your doubt. Let it speak louder than your excuses. There will always be reasons to stop. But when you become your own source of motivation, you stop needing reasons. You just decide. And that decision becomes your advantage. Start your day with intention, not emotion. Tell yourself what matters. Remind yourself of what you're building. Then act on it. That's how you create unstoppable inner energy. Success isn't built by people who are always motivated. It's built by people who are committed, even when motivation is nowhere in sight. Be that person. Be your own spark. And finally, remember this. Your drive is your responsibility. Your growth is in your hands, and your future. It's waiting on you, not on motivation, but on movement. So move now, and let your action inspire the rest. Chapter 10. Flying through uncertainty with faith. Life is filled with uncertainty. No matter how well you plan or prepare, there will always be moments when the path ahead is unclear. But uncertainty isn't your enemy. It's the space where growth begins. Flying through the unknown requires something deeper than logic. It requires faith. Faith is believing without seeing, trusting without knowing, and moving forward even when the outcome is hidden. When you're unsure of what's next, don't freeze. Choose to move with purpose. You may not control the future, but you control your response to it. That choice builds courage. Uncertainty creates fear when we focus on everything that could go wrong. But when we focus on our ability to adapt, to learn, and to rise, fear loses its grip. Faith is not about blind optimism. It's about grounded belief, a deep trust that no matter what happens, you'll figure it out. That kind of faith builds resilience. Even when the road disappears beneath your feet, faith says, take the step anyway, because sometimes the ground only appears after the leap. You don't need to have it all figured out to keep going. You just need enough faith to take the next step, one step at a time. That's how every great journey unfolds. Uncertainty will always be part of the process, but faith turns fear into forward motion. It helps you fly when others stay grounded by doubt. In the storm of not knowing, let your values be your compass. If you stay true to who you are and what you believe, the wind may shake you, but it won't break you. The unknown is not empty, it's full of potential. Faith helps you walk into it with open hands, ready to receive what's next, even if you don't know what that is yet. Your past victories are proof that you can handle the unknown. You've faced uncertainty before and made it through. Let that history remind you of your strength. When things feel out of control, return to what is. Your breath, your attitude, your effort. These are always in your hands. Control them, and you reclaim your power. Let faith be your foundation. Not because life will be easy, but because you've decided to trust the process, even when the process makes no sense. Flying through uncertainty is not about escaping fear. It's about carrying faith and fear together, and choosing to listen to the voice that pushes you forward. Some of the best things in life happen when you say yes without a guarantee. Faith helps you say yes to growth, yes to risk, yes to becoming more than you were. You'll never find absolute clarity in uncertain moments, but you can find confidence. Confidence in your ability to learn, to adjust, to keep going no matter what. Let your purpose speak louder than your fear. When you know why you're flying, the turbulence becomes bearable. Your why gives your faith wings. It's okay to not know how everything will turn out. That's not a weakness. It's a doorway, a chance to trust, a space to grow, a moment to become. Faith gives you the courage to act while you're still afraid. It whispers, "You've got this," even when the noise of doubt is loud. And that whisper? That's enough. And in the end, flying through uncertainty with faith doesn't guarantee a smooth journey, but it guarantees that you'll keep rising, no matter what. And sometimes that's all you need. Faith is what gives your steps meaning, even when the direction is unclear. You might not know where you're headed exactly, but you know why you're walking, and that keeps you going. When you walk with faith, you stop needing certainty to act. You move from a place of trust, believing that even mistakes will lead you to something valuable. Faith doesn't promise a perfect path. It promises strength to keep walking. Even when the terrain gets rough, faith reminds you that you are never truly lost, just in a chapter of becoming. There will be seasons where nothing makes sense. In those moments, faith is your anchor. It reminds you to breathe, to stay present, and to hold on just a little longer. Don't confuse uncertainty with failure. Just because the outcome isn't visible doesn't mean progress isn't happening. Faith helps you keep showing up when results are still taking shape. You don't need all the answers to begin. You just need the courage to start. Faith fills the gap between where you are and where you're meant to be. The more you lean into faith, the stronger your inner voice becomes. You begin to trust your decisions, your intuition, and your ability to handle whatever comes next. Faith turns confusion into curiosity. Instead of fearing what's next, you become open to discovery. You stop resisting change and start exploring it. Even in the unknown, you are still growing. Just because the path is unclear doesn't mean it's unimportant. Some of your most powerful growth happens in the dark. When everything feels uncertain, simplify. Focus on one choice, one task, one moment. Let faith carry the rest. You don't need to control everything to move forward. Faith is what allows you to breathe in the middle of chaos. To say, "I don't know how, but I believe I will get through this." That belief alone can shift everything. The path doesn't need to be visible. It just needs to be real to you. Your belief makes it real. Your faith builds the bridge between where you are and what you dream of. Let go of needing guarantees. Trade that need for grounded trust. Trust in your growth. Trust in your values. Trust that if you fall, you'll rise wiser and stronger. Faith isn't passive, it's powerful. It fuels action, strengthens resolve, and keeps your feet moving when the world tells you to sit still. You may not feel brave, but faith reminds you that you don't need to be fearless. You just need to be willing. Willing to try, to learn, to rise again. Life is full of detours. Faith allows you to adjust your route without losing your destination. You adapt not because you're lost, but because you're learning a better way forward. Sometimes faith is just choosing not to give up today. It's choosing to believe that what feels heavy now will make you stronger later. Your story won't be written in straight lines. It will be shaped by twists, setbacks, surprises. But faith will thread it all together with purpose. You may not know what's ahead, but you know who you are becoming. That alone is worth trusting. That version of you. They're waiting on the other side of this leap. And always remember, flying through uncertainty isn't about having all the answers. It's about carrying peace in your heart when the world offers none. That peace comes from faith, and it will guide you to where you're meant to be. Chapter 11. Protecting your peace and energy. In a world full of noise, chaos, and constant demands, protecting your peace is not selfish, it's essential. Peace is the foundation of clarity, creativity, and true growth. Without it, everything becomes noise. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Some people drain, distract, or disorient you, not because they're bad, but because they don't match the frequency you're building. It's okay to set limits. Your peace is your power. When you protect it, you make better decisions, respond instead of react, and move with intention rather than impulse. Peace allows you to hear your own voice again. You're not required to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't have to explain yourself to everyone. Sometimes, silence is strength. Disengagement is protection. The people you surround yourself with shape your state of mind. Protecting your peace means being intentional about who gets your time, attention, and presence. Rest is part of the process. You don't always need to push. Sometimes the best progress happens in quiet moments, when you pause, breathe, and realign. Peace helps you return stronger. You are allowed to say no without guilt. You are allowed to walk away. You are allowed to choose what feels right for your soul. Protecting your energy is not rejection, it's redirection. Your environment matters. Clean space, calm sounds, nature, light. These things quietly support your inner peace. The outside world should reflect the peace you're building inside. Social media, news, and comparison can cloud your peace. Sometimes the best thing you can do is unplug, log off, and return to your real life. Clarity grows in stillness. Boundaries are bridges to peace. They're not walls to push people out. They're gates to protect what you're nurturing within. Peace needs protection to survive. Protecting your peace means choosing where you place your focus. You can't control everything, but you can choose what you give your energy to. What you feed grows. Sometimes growth feels like loneliness, because peace often means letting go of chaos disguised as connection. You'll lose people, but you'll find yourself. You don't owe everyone access to your emotions. Your peace is sacred. Share it with those who respect it, not those who constantly test it. Slow down. Not everything deserves an immediate reaction. Not everything needs a response. Pausing gives you power and protects your presence. Protect your mornings. The way you begin your day shapes how you show up. Start with silence, gratitude, movement, whatever grounds you. Let the world wait. Not every battle is worth fighting. Choose your peace over your pride. Walk away not because you're weak, but because your energy is too valuable to waste. Your peace is not dependent on how others act. It's built on how you choose to respond. You cannot control them, but you can always protect your reaction. Energy leaks are real. Worrying about things you can't control trying to please everyone, overthinking the past. All of it drains you. Awareness is your first defense. Sometimes, healing means letting go of people you love. If they cost you your peace, they are too expensive. Love doesn't always mean keeping, it sometimes means releasing. And finally, protecting your peace is a daily practice. It's not something you find once, it's something you choose again and again. And every time you do, you become more powerful, more focused, and more free. Protecting your peace often starts with protecting your thoughts. You become what you dwell on. If you constantly replay fears, regrets, and negativity, you give them life. Shift your focus. What you allow in your mind shapes your reality. Don't feel guilty for choosing solitude. Being alone with your thoughts, your breath, and your heart is healing. In solitude, you reconnect with your truth, without noise, without masks, without pressure. Peace is quiet, but it's not weak. It takes real strength to stay calm in a chaotic world, to stay centered when everything around you is pulling you in different directions. That's inner mastery. You can love people and still love yourself enough to keep your distance. Not every relationship is meant to go with you as you grow. Some were only meant to teach you how to protect your space. There's a difference between being available and being accessible. You don't have to answer every call, reply to every message, or carry every burden. Protect your bandwidth. Peace grows in routines. Simple habits, sleep, hydration, quiet mornings, intentional breaks, these small acts build strong roots. Your daily patterns either drain you or empower you. Your peace is your responsibility. No one else can guard it for you. Waiting for others to protect your energy only leads to disappointment. Empower yourself by choosing what serves your soul. You are not selfish for putting yourself first sometimes. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you can't give your best to others if you are constantly running on empty. Not all discomfort is growth. Some situations repeatedly steal your energy with no lesson left to learn. Know when to walk away, not out of weakness, but wisdom. You don't have to react to everything. Silence is an answer. Walking away is a response. Choosing peace over proving a point is a powerful decision. The more you protect your peace, the more sensitive you become to energy. You'll start to feel what drains you before it even speaks. That's awareness, and it's priceless. You deserve to be around people who make your soul feel safe. People who bring calm, not chaos. Encouragement, not criticism. Presence, not pressure. Drama is addictive, but peace is healing. When you step away from constant conflict, your nervous system relaxes, your mind clears, your heart opens. That's freedom. You have the right to evolve. If your peace grows when your circle gets smaller, let it. Don't hold on to who you used to be just to keep others comfortable. Not everything needs fixing. Some things need releasing. Let go of the pressure to fix every person, problem, or situation. Fixing drains. Surrendering restores. The way people treat your peace tells you everything. Respect from others starts with the standard you set for yourself. If you let people disrupt your peace, they will. Energy is sacred. You only have so much to give in a day. Use it wisely. Give it to things that feed you, not things that keep you in cycles of stress. You don't owe access to people just because they once had it. Seasons change, people grow, boundaries shift. Your peace may require new rules, and that's okay. What you tolerate becomes your normal. If chaos, stress, and emotional exhaustion are always present, you'll start to accept them. Protecting your peace means choosing a new normal. And most importantly, peace isn't a destination, it's a way of life. It's the choice to slow down, listen to yourself, and protect what matters. Every time you choose peace, you choose power. Chapter 12. Rise above and never look back. Chapter 12. Rise above and never look back. There comes a point in your journey when you have to stop revisiting what broke you. Healing isn't about staying in the past, it's about rising above it. Growth happens when you finally decide that your future matters more than your history. You can't fly while clinging to the weight of what once was. The higher you rise, the less space there is for regret, guilt, and old identities. Some chapters must be closed for new ones to begin. Rising above doesn't mean forgetting. It means you stop giving power to what no longer serves you. You carry the lesson, not the wound. You remember, but you don't return. Not everyone will understand your journey. That's okay. You're not rising for their approval. You're rising for your peace, your purpose, your power. Your past may have shaped you, but it doesn't define you. You are not who you were. You are who you choose to become. And with every step forward, you redefine your story. Forgive yourself for what you didn't know then. You did the best you could with the awareness you had. Now you rise with wisdom, clarity, and strength. Don't let familiar pain feel safer than unfamiliar growth. Just because it's what you're used to doesn't mean it's where you belong. You were meant to move forward. Stop revisiting conversations, moments, and mistakes that are no longer real. They only live in your mind now, and it's time to free yourself. There is no peace in rehearsing old battles. You already survived them. You already overcame. Now, your energy belongs to building, not reliving. You were not born to be stuck. You were born to rise, to evolve, to move with power and intention. Don't let your past pull you from the future you deserve. Release the need for closure that never came. Some people won't give you peace, but you can give it to yourself by walking away without bitterness. Every time you look back, you delay your momentum. Your future needs your full attention, your full energy, and your full presence. Stop apologizing for becoming someone new. Your rise will be uncomfortable for those who preferred you small. But your growth is not their responsibility. Rising above is not about proving anyone wrong. It's about proving yourself right. You knew you were made for more. Now it's time to step into it. Let go of the version of you that tolerated less than you deserved. That version was surviving. The one rising now is thriving. Own that difference. The view ahead is brighter than anything you've left behind. Keep your eyes forward. The best is never behind you. It's unfolding with every step you take. Not everyone can go where you're going. Don't shrink to stay in spaces you've outgrown. You're not abandoning anyone. You're answering a higher calling. Keep rising until the old you doesn't recognize the new you. And when doubt shows up, remind yourself, you didn't come this far to stop. You've already made it through the hard part, the breaking, the falling, the questioning. Now comes the rising. Let it be bold. Let it be final. And as you rise, never look back with regret. Look back only to see how far you've come. Then smile, lift your head, and keep going. Your future is waiting. You don't need to go back and fix everything. Some things are meant to remain as they are. Lessons, not life sentences. Let your healing be your closure. The moment you choose to rise is the moment you stop negotiating with your past. No more explaining. No more reopening old wounds. No more second-guessing your growth. Your peace is not behind you. It lives in the choices you make today, in the person you are becoming. not the one you've already outgrown. Don't wait for validation to move on. You don't need permission to heal, to grow, to transform. What matters is that you've decided. It's time. Not every memory deserves a spotlight. Some thoughts need to be left in the dark, where they can no longer steal your light. Let your focus be your freedom. You've paid the price of your pain. Now it's time to collect the rewards of your resilience. What you've survived isn't your weakness. It's your greatest source of power. Every step you take forward silences the doubts that once screamed at you. With each act of courage, you prove to yourself that your past cannot hold you anymore. It's not about pretending the pain didn't happen. It's about refusing to stay trapped in it. You can acknowledge the storm and still choose the sunshine. Let your transformation be louder than your history. You don't have to explain how you've changed. Just keep walking. The results will speak for themselves. Releasing the past doesn't mean it didn't matter. It means you matter more. It means your growth, joy, and peace have become the new priority. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is simply not turning back. Your future doesn't need the echo of what was. It needs the full sound of what's becoming. Rise above the need to prove your worth. You don't need to be seen by everyone to be valuable. What matters most is how you see yourself when no one's looking. Let your strength speak in your silence. Not every victory needs an announcement. Sometimes the quiet, steady rise is the most unshakable kind. You've already said goodbye to what no longer serves you. Now it's time to say hello to everything you never believed you were worthy of. Until now. The person who kept going when everything felt heavy deserves to fly freely now. Don't clip your own wings by looking back. Your time to soar is here. Let the past be the proof, not the prison. It shows you what you've endured, not where you must remain. You are not bound by yesterday's pain. If you feel doubt, that's okay. But don't let it pull you back into places you fought so hard to leave. You didn't climb this far to start over again. Your rise isn't just for you. It's for everyone watching silently, wondering if they're allowed to grow too. Your strength is their signal. Show them what's possible. Nothing you've lost is greater than what you're walking toward. Trust that your path is unfolding exactly as it should, and every step forward is sacred. And finally, rise without apology. Don't shrink, don't explain, don't pause for those who preferred you broken. Keep climbing, keep healing, and never, ever look back. Chapter 13. Surrounding yourself with uplifting energy. You become like the energy you keep. If you surround yourself with people who complain, criticize, and doubt, you'll begin to question your light. But when you're around positivity, you rise. Uplifting energy isn't just about being cheerful, it's about being intentional. It's choosing people, places, and thoughts that nourish your soul instead of drain your strength. The people you allow into your space are either planting seeds of growth or pulling out your roots. Choose the ones who water your spirit, not those who wither it. You deserve to be around people who light up when they see you win. People who celebrate your growth, challenge you to level up, and remind you of your worth when you forget. Energy is contagious. If someone constantly brings chaos, drama, or negativity, it will rub off on you. Protect your peace by choosing connections that feel like clarity, not confusion. Sometimes, protecting your energy means saying goodbye, not because you don't care, but because you care too much about your mental and emotional health to stay stuck in toxic cycles. The best environments don't always shout motivation. Sometimes they just offer peace, presence, and quiet encouragement, and that is enough to help you grow. Surrounding yourself with uplifting energy also means becoming that energy. Be the kind of presence that uplifts, empowers, and brings calm, not just to others, but to yourself. You don't need 100 people in your corner. You just need a few who truly want to see you rise. Quality energy always outweighs quantity. Evaluate your circle not by how long you've known them, but by how they make you feel. Are you drained or inspired? Held back or pushed forward? The difference is everything. Sometimes the most uplifting energy is found in solitude. When you take time to reset alone, you reconnect with your own voice, the one that's often drowned out by the noise. Let go of the idea that you owe loyalty to anyone who no longer aligns with your future. Loyalty to your peace comes first. Let that be your new standard. Words hold energy. Pay attention to the language people use around you. Do they speak life or limitations? Empowerment or fear? Stay close to those who speak vision. Your space matters. Declutter your environment. Light a candle. Play calming music. Read words that inspire. These small shifts create big energy changes in your life. You don't rise alone. You rise with those who believe in your wings. Find the ones who remind you of your strength when life tries to make you forget. Be aware of emotional energy vampires, people who always take, never give, and expect you to carry their weight. You are allowed to say no. You are allowed to protect your light. Energy alignment is a form of self-respect. When you honor what feels good, safe, and authentic, you stop tolerating what drains your spirit. That's when you truly begin to grow. Every conversation you have is either building you up or breaking you down. Speak with those who remind you of who you are, not who you were trying to leave behind. Don't settle for energy that dims your glow. The right people, places, and routines will make you feel more alive, not less. If it costs your peace, it's too expensive. And remember this, surrounding yourself with uplifting energy is not just about who's around you. It's about what you allow within you. Protect it, feed it, and watch your entire life rise. Be mindful of who you vent to. Not everyone can hold space for your emotions without adding their own negativity. Sometimes they'll magnify your stress instead of easing it. Your energy is sacred. It deserves to be protected like your most valuable possession. You wouldn't let just anyone into your home. Treat your inner space the same way. Surrounding yourself with uplifting energy also means limiting your exposure to constant negativity online. Unfollow accounts, mute voices, and clear digital space just like physical space. Energy doesn't lie. Even if someone says all the right words, your body and soul can feel when something's off. Learn to trust that internal signal. The most powerful transformations often happen when you change your circle. You rise faster when you're in the company of those who refuse to let you settle. Some relationships feel heavy because they're built on obligation, not connection. Don't carry guilt for letting go of bonds that no longer support who you're becoming. Your frequency attracts your tribe. The more you elevate your mindset and focus on healing, the more you'll draw in those who reflect your growth. The right energy won't compete with yours. It will complement it. It won't pull you down. It will meet you where you are and help lift you higher. Being selective with your circle isn't judgment. It's wisdom. You're not excluding people from your life. You're choosing to include what brings out your best. A calm presence is powerful. Look for people who don't just talk about peace, but embody it. Their energy is felt without words. Their presence speaks louder than noise. A strong support system doesn't just show up when things are easy. It holds you in silence when words won't fix anything. It shows up with patience and belief. You're not too sensitive for protecting your peace. You're self-aware. You're conscious. You're finally putting yourself first in a world that often demands your last. Sometimes the most uplifting energy comes from doing what you love. Art, music, movement, learning. These things restore you in ways people can't always understand. Peaceful people often feel unfamiliar when you've lived in chaos, but once you experience true energetic safety, you'll never want to go back to emotional instability. It's not your job to carry people who refuse to walk. Uplifting energy flows both ways. If you're always lifting others but no one lifts you, you're not in alignment, you're in imbalance. Take inventory of how you feel after spending time with someone. Are you lighter, brighter, more inspired? Or are you exhausted, unsure, and discouraged? The difference is your answer. Energy is exchanged in every conversation. Protect your words, speak from intention, and be around those who do the same. Don't underestimate the energy of your physical environment. Clutter creates chaos. Clean spaces create calm. Light, plants, color, and scent. These small details influence your entire mood. The best people help you feel more like yourself, not less. They don't require performance or perfection. They hold space for your growth and remind you that you're already enough. And most of all, remember this: your energy sets the tone for your life. Protect it, elevate it, and share it only with those who value it. The more you protect your energy, the more powerful you become. Chapter 14. Silencing the Inner Critic. We all have that voice, the one that whispers, "You're not enough." But just because it's loud doesn't mean it's true. The inner critic feeds off fear, comparison, and insecurity. It's not your truth, it's your old programming. The inner critic often shows up when you're growing. Why? Because growth threatens comfort. And the voice of doubt will do anything to keep you where it's safe, small, and familiar, even if that means sabotaging your potential. You were not born with that voice. It was built by past experiences, painful words, and repeated patterns. But the good news: anything that was built can be dismantled and replaced with something stronger. Silencing the inner critic isn't about pretending it doesn't exist. It's about refusing to let it lead. You hear it, but you choose to act from strength, not fear. Your mind believes what you tell it most often. If the inner critic has been running the script, it's time to rewrite the story. Replace the "I can't" with "I'm learning." Replace "I'm not enough" with "I am becoming." The inner critic thrives on perfectionism. It convinces you that if you're not perfect, you're a failure. But the truth is, perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. And progress is always messy, real, and worth celebrating. Start catching the critic in real time. The moment it speaks, pause. Ask, is this helpful? Is this kind? Is this even true? Most of the time, the answer is no. Create distance from the voice. Don't say, "I'm a failure." Say, "I'm having a thought that I failed." That subtle shift reminds you, you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. Give the inner critic a name. Make it something ridiculous if you want. Doubtful Dave or negative Nancy. This helps you recognize when it's showing up uninvited and refuse to take it seriously. The more you take action, the quieter the critic becomes. Action proves it wrong. When you do what the voice said you couldn't, you rewrite the rules it tried to trap you in. You don't need to feel confident to act. You just need to act consistently. Confidence is built through courage, and courage is doing it even when the critic is screaming. Your inner critic is often just a scared version of you. Instead of fighting it with hate, meet it with compassion. Say, "I know you're trying to protect me, but I've got this now. Surround yourself with people who reflect your strength. When you're around those who speak life into you, your inner critic loses its volume. Their belief can help you find your own. Practice self-affirmation daily. It's not cheesy, it's necessary. Your brain needs repetition to believe new truths. Speak love, power, and possibility into yourself every single day. Stop measuring your worth by outcomes. The critic feeds on missed goals and mistakes. But success isn't the only proof of progress. Effort is. Growth happens in the trying. Keep a victory log. Write down moments where you pushed through, overcame, succeeded, or simply showed up. When the critic shows up, show it the receipts. You're not alone in this. Everyone has an inner critic. Even the strongest, most successful people doubt themselves sometimes. What sets them apart is their refusal to let that voice drive. Celebrate your effort, not just your results. Did you show up today? Did you try? Did you choose to keep going? That's strength, and the critic can't take that away. When the critic says, "You're not ready," remind it, you don't need to be perfect, you just need to be willing. Willing to learn, to grow, and to rise despite the fear. And finally, when the inner critic tries to shrink you, speak louder, not with fear, but with truth, with kindness, with power. You've come too far to be held back by a voice that never knew your full potential. You are not the voice that doubts you. You are the one who hears it. That awareness alone gives you power. It means you can choose not to believe every thought that enters your mind. The inner critic often echoes voices from the past. Things you heard growing up, moments when others projected their pain onto you. But those voices weren't right then, and they aren't now. Silencing the critic means tuning into your inner coach instead. The coach reminds you of your progress, your strength, your capability. And unlike the critic, the coach believes in your future. Your identity should be built on truth, not trauma. The critic loves to use old wounds to define who you are. But healing means choosing your own labels and letting go of the ones that never belonged to you. Comparison is fuel for the inner critic. The more you measure yourself against others, the more you forget your own path. Your value isn't based on someone else's highlight reel. Build a new relationship with failure. Instead of letting the critic say, "You messed up," teach your mind to say, "This is where I grow." Each misstep is part of becoming more resilient. You don't need to be the loudest in the room. You just need to be the clearest in your own mind. Inner clarity weakens the critic because it thrives in confusion and self-doubt. Visualization is a powerful tool. Picture yourself succeeding. Picture yourself handling pressure, walking with purpose, speaking with confidence. Your mind will follow what it sees. Reframe the critic's words. When it says, "You always mess things up," reframe it as, "I'm learning what doesn't work, and that gets me closer to what does." You are not broken, you're becoming. The critic will try to convince you that your imperfections make you unworthy, but your imperfections are part of your power. Affirm your growth out loud. Saying, "I'm proud of how far I've come," isn't arrogance, it's alignment. You're owning your evolution instead of letting old fears narrate your story. Catch yourself when you use harsh self-labels. Replace "I'm lazy" with "I'm tired." Replace "I'm stupid" with "I made a mistake." Speak like someone who deserves care, because you do. Self-compassion is louder than self-judgment when practiced daily. The critic is repetitive, so your kindness has to be too. Repetition builds belief, and belief silences doubt. Create space between thought and reaction. When the critic shouts, pause, breathe, then decide. Will you act from that voice, or from the part of you that knows your worth? Learn to laugh at the critic. Humor disarms it. Say, "Nice try," and move on. You don't have to engage with every inner voice that rises up. Not every thought deserves your time. Track your inner wins, even the small ones. Did you speak kindly to yourself today? Did you stop a negative spiral mid-thought? That's growth. That's how change becomes real. Train your inner language like a muscle. The more you practice strength-based thinking, the more natural it becomes. Over time, your reflex shifts from judgment to grace. Give yourself credit. You've survived every doubt, every voice, every obstacle. If the critic were right, you wouldn't be here. But you are, and you're stronger than it ever expected. The critic often speaks from fear of the unknown. Remind yourself that discomfort is not danger, it's transformation. You're not falling apart, you're expanding. And finally, remember, your inner critic is only loud because it knows how powerful you truly are. Don't shrink to make it quiet. Rise, and let your confidence silence it for good. Chapter 15. Living boldly with purpose and passion. Living boldly begins with deciding that you were not born to play small. You weren't made to hide your gifts, mute your voice, or settle for a life that doesn't ignite your soul. You were made to live with fire. Purpose isn't something you find, it's something you remember. It's the part of you that existed before the world told you who to be. And when you reconnect with it, everything begins to align. Bold living means showing up fully, even when you're afraid. It's choosing to act before you feel ready, to speak up when it would be easier to stay quiet, and to take up space unapologetically. You don't need permission to pursue what sets your heart on fire. You already have all the approval you need, from your inner truth, your desire to grow, and your willingness to try. Passion is not a luxury. It's a life force. It's what gets you out of bed in the morning, what keeps you moving when the path gets hard. Without it, success feels empty. Living boldly is choosing alignment over approval. You stop bending to fit the mold and start building a life that feels real, rich, and true to your spirit. Purpose isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, persistent, and steady. But when you follow it, even in small steps, it leads to a life that feels deeply meaningful. You were not created to be a copy. Your passion, your voice, your journey, they are one of a kind. Don't waste them trying to blend in when you were born to stand out. Boldness is not recklessness, it's self-trust. It's believing that even if you fall, you'll rise. And even if you fail, you'll learn. Either way, you win. Stop waiting for clarity to start. Sometimes clarity only comes when you move. Your passion reveals its purpose through your action, not your overthinking. There will be people who don't understand your passion. That's okay. They don't need to. Your path wasn't assigned to them. It was entrusted to you. Walk it anyway. Living boldly means embracing risk. Not the risk of losing, but the risk of growing. The risk of becoming more than you thought possible. Every bold step creates momentum. One brave choice leads to another. And before you know it, you're living in a reality you once only dreamed about. Purpose turns obstacles into fuel. When you know why you're doing something, you'll keep going, even when it gets tough. Passion doesn't remove struggle. It gives it meaning. You don't have to have it all figured out to start living with purpose. You just have to decide that your life deserves more than comfort and routine. You were made for depth. Bold living often requires shedding who you were. Old fears, limiting beliefs, the need to please. They can't come with you where you're going. Let them go. You can't fake passion. You can go through the motions, but your soul knows the difference. And when you're lit up from within, the world can't help but notice. Purpose-driven people are magnetic, not because they're perfect, but because they're alive. Their energy, their joy, their focus, it's all rooted in alignment. There's no greater feeling than waking up and knowing you're building something that matters to you, that your life is an expression of who you truly are, not who the world expects you to be. And finally, remember this: you have one life, one chance to write a story worth living. Don't dim your light. Don't wait for someday. Live boldly, live fully, and let your passion lead the way. Living boldly is not about having no fear. It's about deciding that your dreams are bigger than your fears. It's choosing forward motion, even when your hands are shaking and your heart is racing. The world doesn't need more people who are just surviving. It needs more people who are fully alive, awake to their purpose, guided by passion, and brave enough to take action. Your boldness inspires others. Every time you show up fully as yourself, you give silent permission for others to do the same. Bold energy creates bold impact. Living with purpose isn't always glamorous. Sometimes it's showing up when no one claps, staying consistent when no one sees, and choosing your mission over your mood. You don't have to have a grand plan to live with purpose. Sometimes passion shows up in the small things: how you speak to others, how you create, how you keep promises to yourself. Never underestimate the power of a decision. When you decide to live boldly, you shift your mindset. You stop waiting. You stop wishing. You start building. If your life feels dull, don't assume you're broken. You might just be out of alignment. Purpose brings color. Passion brings energy. Find what sparks and follow it. Comfort is a cage dressed up like safety. You can stay there, but you'll never fly. Boldness means stepping out, even when the outcome is uncertain. You don't need to be loud to be bold. Sometimes boldness is quiet, steady, unshakable. It's not about noise. It's about conviction. Success built without passion eventually feels like burnout. But success aligned with purpose feels like fulfillment. That's the kind that lasts. Start before you feel qualified. The boldest people weren't always the most prepared. They were just the most committed to starting anyway. Let your energy speak for you. When you're connected to your purpose, it radiates through your actions. People will feel it before you even say a word. Living boldly doesn't mean you never rest. It means you rest with intention, recharge with purpose, and return to the work that lights you up. You will outgrow people when you start living with purpose. That's normal. Not everyone will understand your fire, but that fire wasn't meant to be dimmed for their comfort. Do what sets your soul on fire, not just what looks good on paper. There's a difference between a career and a calling, a job and a mission. Listen to the deeper voice. You don't need external validation when your life already feels fulfilling on the inside. That's the reward of passion. You feel aligned even before the results arrive. Every day is a chance to choose courage over comfort. It's not a one-time decision, it's a habit, and each bold choice builds a stronger version of you. Live with urgency, not anxiety, but intention. One day it will all be over. What you build, who you become, and how you show up, that's what will remain. Let your life be your loudest statement. Not your titles, not your posts, but your presence. Let people feel your fire, your clarity, your grounded joy. And always remember, boldness is your birthright. Passion is your compass, and purpose is your power. Don't just exist, ignite. You were born to live lit from within. You owe it to yourself to try, to give your passion a real shot, to see what happens when you show up with full intensity and stop apologizing for wanting more. Living boldly is about trusting your gut. Your intuition knows the way. It won't scream, but it will whisper. And when you follow that inner nudge, you step into flow. People will question your passion. They'll wonder why you care so much. But your fire isn't for them to understand. It's for you to follow. And only you can carry that torch. Purpose isn't found in comfort zones. You discover it on the edge. When you push past fear, challenge your limits, and do what you once thought you couldn't. Don't wait until you're fearless to act. Act while you're afraid. Boldness is built in the doing, not the waiting. And courage always rises after commitment. The world rewards boldness. Doors open for people who move with purpose, who ask without hesitation, and who own their message without shrinking. Living with passion means feeling deeply. It means caring, investing, showing up with your heart. And yes, that makes you vulnerable, but it also makes you unstoppable. Let your passion outgrow your excuses. Replace someday with today. Replace I can't with I'll try. Every small decision adds up to a bold life. People may resist your energy. That's because boldness disrupts complacency. Keep going anyway. The ones meant to walk with you will rise to meet you. Living boldly doesn't mean having all the answers. It means being willing to ask the hard questions and trust that answers will come as you move. Celebrate your passion, even if no one else does yet. Your excitement is valid. Your calling is real. Don't wait for applause to validate what your soul already knows. You weren't given your dreams by accident. They were planted for a reason. And it's your responsibility, not the world's, to nurture them until they grow. Stay loyal to your vision, even when the path is unclear. Boldness is believing in something before you see it. Passion is holding on until it becomes reality. Live in a way that excites you, that challenges you, that wakes you up in the morning. If your life feels dull, let that be your signal. It's time to turn the volume up. Boldness is built through small, consistent action. One honest conversation, one scary step, one bold move. Stack them daily and watch your life transform. You don't rise by playing it safe. You rise by risking discomfort, facing rejection, and choosing progress over perfection every single day. Let your work reflect your heart. Let it speak of who you are, what you believe, and why you show up. Purposeful work always outlasts trends. The more you live boldly, the more you attract aligned opportunities. Energy leads. When you show up like someone who believes in their mission, the world takes notice. There's no failure in living fully. Even if the outcome shifts, you'll have the pride of knowing you didn't hold back. That's more powerful than any result. And when it's all said and done, what will matter most is not how perfectly you lived, but how passionately, how boldly, how fully. Let that be your legacy. You were never meant to stay grounded by fear or held back by doubt. Everything you need is already within you. Strength, courage, purpose, and potential. Life will test you. Branches may break. But if you trust your wings, you'll always rise. This journey isn't about being perfect. It's about believing in yourself, even when it's hard. So keep going. Keep growing. Keep trusting. The sky is not the limit. It's just the beginning.